All right, guys. My name is Harold Durana, and today I have Ousmane Diallo. So, Ousmane, let's kind of dive in. Where you have been in the insurance space before. So, what were you doing before? I guess let's go before insurance. What were you doing before insurance?
Yeah. So before insurance, I have a background in accounting.
Okay.
That's what I went to school for. Graduated from college, and it was a little bit after the 2008 recession, 2012 when I graduated, and it was very difficult at the time to find a job.
Hmm.
So I spent about 3 years looking for a job, and that's when now for me I started to realize that hey, I can't just rely on the job because there's no safety there.
Hmm.
So start looking at different things, then start working as an accountant for the state, and then somebody introduced me to the insurance industry.
Hmm.
Okay, and one of the things that really attracted me to the industry was that this was a way for people to learn how to manage the money, learn how money works, right?
Yeah.
Learn about investments, 401k, IRAs, things that I went to school for that I wanted to learn,
Yeah.
but never really got a chance to learn about it. So I went to an event and I started learning, started reading books about insurance, what insurance can do, how you can build generational wealth is
Mhm.
the easiest way. And then I saw a guy at an event,
Yeah.
right? Uh, Nothing special about the guy, you know. It was a Nigerian guy, by the way, on stage, and his family was sitting front row, had the Nigerian flag there. Everybody was excited, and he made more money. He was making more money in a week that I was making like almost he was making more money in a month that I was
Yeah. Yeah.
making a whole year working at my job.
Yeah.
So I left that event and I was like, man, there's people out there, normal people, nothing special about them that can do something like this. And I came back to work. I looked around and I'm like, if I don't do something in the next 10 or 15 years, I'm probably gonna be at the same place. Nothing wrong with the job, but I just wanted more out of life.
Yep. Yep.
So I left that event and decided to get my license, got in the industry, and I was working with a company that didn't have any leads.
Hmm.
Okay, we're not gonna name any companies here. We're not
Okay.
doing that, but it was a different business model
Yeah.
where, in order for me to acquire clients, I had to go through my friends and family. I had to make a list of friends and family. I was the weird guy, bro. In order for me to write business, I had to go and find people that there was no leads. So I was one of the guys that I would go to a gas station, I would go to the mall, and we used to call that prospecting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think that's the only way. But I would go and strike up a conversation. I would see, hey, Harold, how you doing? You look pretty sharp. What do you do?
Yeah.
And that was just how I would get clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it got to the point where I hit a wall. I couldn't really get to the next level, and I kept hearing about the opportunity with this company, right?
Yeah.
And I kept hearing people. And I was like, no, there's no way. This sounds too good to be true,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And long story short, December 2020, on January 2022, I said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna just take a leap of faith. I went on LinkedIn. I looked at the owner of the company. I
Hmm.
reached out to him, and next thing you know, got introduced to Isaiah.
Hmm.
Isaiah introduced me to Anthony,
Hmm.
and that's how I got started. And I started working with you guys, and it's been night and day. Well, what I was trying to make over there in a year, right? I over here with the leads, the system that you guys build, the infrastructures, the Zoom, everything else. I'm able to do that so much faster, and then what was taking me a year to do, I can do that in a month over here.
Yeah.
So that's what got me in the end with you guys to
Yeah.
the opportunity.
Let's unpack that a little bit because that business model, I'm not going to say that it's like a terrible business model, of course, because
Mm-mm.
like prior it works, right? It's been proven. There's companies out there that do it and they continue to do it day in day out, and it works,
Yeah.
right? The one thing that comments that I get, and when I talk to people who come from that style of like prospecting, trying to find your own clients, is that they feel very ingenuine because you're just talking to a random person and you're striking up a conversation, but that conversation that you're striking, you have an intention of trying
You have an
to,
agenda.
yeah, you have that agenda
Hmm.
of like, oh, I want to try to get a policy, get this guy a policy. He's
Mhm.
not even looking for a policy, or
No.
she is not looking for a policy at all whatsoever. But you're starting that conversation, and that's what makes it. When I'm talking to people, they feel like it's very ingenuine. It's like I'm not really. Am I really trying to be this person's friend, or am I trying to get a
Yeah.
policy out of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. Was that how did like how was that
Well, it
the
was it was
process?
it was very difficult because I had to make a list of friends and family, talk, and then it gets to the point where you get in the NFL zone. No friends left because right,
No friends left.
no friends
I
left
like that.
because every single one of every single person you know, they already know as this guy who's trying to recruit me into the business.
Yeah, yeah.
So you go to those barbecues on Independence Day or
The holidays,
holidays, and everybody just walks away when they see you coming in because they're like, "Oh, here's this guy again. He's gonna
everybody
tell me
avoids
about."
you.
Yeah, you call people, they send you
Yeah.
to voicemail. I think in one way that was good for me because that taught me how to have thick skin.
Hmm.
Because in business, you're gonna have rejections. You're gonna have people telling you no. When your own friends and family tell you no,
Yeah,
there's no other rejections that's gonna
yeah.
make you scared, right? So, but yeah, that was difficult. Trying to go that business model. So for me, I was like, hey, I know it works. Again, just like you said, it works for some people,
Yeah.
right? I think if you the type of person that have a lot of influence, you know, a lot of people, it's a lot easier.
Hmm.
I'm an introvert, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm the guy, I want to work. So I love the fact that over here, I don't need to have this big personality. I
Hmm.
don't need to be the special person on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't need to speak so eloquently, right? I can just be myself and then work, get on the phone, talk to clients that are already asking for what I have to sell instead of me going and trying to push something down the throat of my friends and family, trying to force them to buy something that they never asked for.
Yeah. Some of them, they feel bad and they might get it, but then
Yeah,
they cancel it,
exactly.
just to
Trust me,
get
I
it,
got a
just to
lot of that.
say, just to say that they got it from you,
Hmm.
or and it's pressure.
Hmm.
You're pressuring them into something that they never even considered. Yes, I mean the education piece is there, of course. Educate the family, make sure that they understand what insurance can do for the family, absolutely.
Yeah,
But when you are trying to push somebody into a product that they're not even considering. I mean,
yeah.
again, like I said, the education is great, but again, it works in a
Hmm.
lot of cases.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about this because you went from having to prospect, trying to find your own clients, everybody avoiding you, to now you're talking to clients who've expressed interest.
Hmm.
The actual lead, like a client requesting information
Right.
or looking for insurance. Like,
Hmm.
tell me the difference there.
Oh man, it's night and day. It's night and day because now I'm in control of how many people I can talk in a day. Yes, before I was kind of in control because yes, I can call, but how many friends and family do I have? Then I have to go and meet people. I mean, I was going to seminars, all type of events. If people had like a networking event in the city, I was there. I was just exhausted.
Yeah, yeah, and you're away from home.
Yeah, collecting business cards with
Yeah.
people that would never do business with me. To me, that's not really being in control. But over here, because we have leads of people that actually requested the information, you know, yes, you not everybody that requests the information you're gonna sell them because you have to have the skills, you have to be able to talk to them on the phone. But at least if I say, hey, I want to have 100 people to talk to today. I want to have 100 people that reach out about insurance that I can reach out to. I can, which I didn't have before.
Mhm.
Before I had to go and find those people myself. But with what we have here, where we actually calling people that want the information is just night and day.
Mhm.
Because now I can, I know my numbers. Hey, if I reach out to this many people, I set up this amount of appointments. This is how much clients I can help. If I have this amount of clients, this is how much I'm gonna get paid. It's so much more clarity, and then it just for me, it's a business model that works better for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So
It's
does
it's 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 for me, it's more duplicatable.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
Hmm.
Because they're clients that are looking for your product.
Yeah,
It's not trying to force a surprise product.
yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there that are coming from that space where it's
Hmm.
referral based, trying to find clients, bugging their friends and family type of thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them think like that's it. This is just what the industry is, and the
Yeah.
industry also has a bad name because of that in some ways, right? Where it's like, oh man, they're gonna bug me, they're gonna ask me a whole bunch, try to get insurance from them,
Mm-hmm.
So there are people out there who are sitting there like, man, this isn't for me. Where I'm having to bug my friends and family. I like the industry, but I don't like the way that I have to obtain clients. Like,
Yeah.
what is your, I guess, your advice to them, or what could you tell those people?
I mean, my question is my my thing is if you brand new, you just got started. I mean, we all have that feeling. Hey, this is the best place to be. Blah blah. Blah. I mean, it's fine, right? But at some point, you gotta ask yourself some questions. You know, if you've been doing it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you're still at the same place, and nothing is working for you, I mean, do you want to keep doing the same thing? Because the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result,
Yep.
right? So I think at one point you got to look yourself in the mirror, and yes, it's great to have relation. I had great relationship with the people that I was with when I left the company. I still have some great relationship with some of them, not all of them.
Yep.
But at one point, you got to look yourself in the mirror and think about, you know, not your upline, not the team, but you got to think about yourself too.
Hmm.
You know, is this something that's helping you, provide for your family? And if it's not, you know, maybe it's time to look at a different venue, right? So, I mean, for me, I'm a very, I believe I'm a very, that I'm the type of person I want to be loyal,
Hmm.
right? I want to be loyal because I love loyalty. It's for me, it's having integrity is important to me. But at some point, you got to look at if the math ain't mathing, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing something, it's not working. I mean, there's so many people making a great living in this industry. It doesn't have to be specific to one company.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that our company is the best, right? There's all but if you were somewhere right now, you work and you're not happy where you are, maybe it's time to
Hmm.
look at something different or do something different. So
Yeah.
I think for me, what I would say is I challenge everybody. Hey, if you're somewhere where you're not happy and you're not getting to where you want to be, maybe you maybe you maybe you're an all-star player, but you're in the wrong team,
Yes.
right?
I love that.
So find the all-star team so you can start, performing as an all-star player
Yeah.
instead of being in a team where you're not performing at your best.
You're the right person, but you're in the wrong vehicle,
Exactly.
right? So I want to break that down a little bit too, because like, trying to find your own clients, it's tough. It's tough, especially if you're you don't have that big of a network, or maybe you might be younger, because that's a lot of times like when you're younger, you have that like you're hesitant because you're like, man, I don't want to bug my parents, friends, and family.
Yeah.
Their friends,
Hmm.
bug my aunts. I mean, some of them will do it just because you're getting started in the business, but it's rough, right? It's hard trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other piece of it is, when we talked about this, was it yesterday, and you're like 35% was the starting comp, which is wild.
Yeah.
35%,
Hmm.
and that's a that's in most IMOs nowadays, I mean 65% is like bottom barrel. I mean,
Hmm.
when you start off as a broker, you're starting off at the bottom barrels 80%
Yeah.
even,
I,
right?
I I started when I was previously before I started working with you guys. I started at a 35%, 30%. I think it was 30%, 30 or 35%
Yeah,
contract.
yeah,
But I mean, for me, it was good because it was better than nothing. Because I didn't,
and that's all you know.
But what I realized is, it's because that business model was more for the builder.
Yeah,
It was more for the agency manager, the people that have a lot of agents because they collect the override,
yeah, yeah,
the spread, right? What I like about what we got going on over here is that, if you feel like, hey, I'm not ready to build, I'm not ready to have an agency, you can make a good living just being a producer. And then once you start scaling and you feel like you have the confidence, you can build an agency, but you can make a living being a producer. Over there, if you don't have a lot of people on your team, you don't have an agency, it's just very, very hard to make a good living because the commission is so low.
yeah.
So for me, that was something that was very attractive to me. Coming over here, starting at least 80 to 80% contract and more, depending on your experience. I think it makes a big difference because, I mean, 80%. 80% of something
Yeah.
is better than 30% of anything. You
Yeah.
know. So
And I want to talk about one more thing. And that thing is what you said earlier was loyalty,
mhm.
right? And it's a very powerful word. And you said it earlier, right? It's if you're in the certain space and you're not seeing, you know, the results that you want, you get that insanity, right? But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, when you think about that word loyalty, what does it really to me? I mean, again, it might be different for everybody, but I look at it like this: like, who do you need to be loyal to, right? Because a lot of times, you work at a company and you're like so loyal to that company. The minute you leave, your chair is already filled. Like
Hmm.
30 seconds later,
Yep.
somebody's already there.
Mhm.
They're not loyal to you,
They
right?
forgot about you
You were
already.
loyal to them, but they
Mhm.
weren't loyal to you. So, when you think about the word loyalty, I mean, for me, it's different, right? I'm looking at it as number one, I need to be loyal to myself, right? I really need to be loyal to myself and be honest with myself. And then the other piece of it is I need to be loyal to my family. That's the
Yeah.
number one. You need to be loyal to your family because if you're doing this and it's not working, but you're loyal to the company and you're not doing well and you're putting yourself and your family in a bad situation,
Yeah.
your loyalty is not aligned correctly. You need to be loyal
Mhm.
to the family because the family's going to be there no matter what. Like your spouse, your kids, your parents, your brothers, your
They're the
sisters,
one depending on you.
they're the ones depending on you or
Yep.
helping you even, right?
Mhm.
You're going to all these events and they're the ones watching your kids and helping you with your spouse and all that stuff. So the reality is for me, I look at it like that. I got to be loyal to those people who've had my back, like that family, because they're the ones that support me, right? At the end of
Right.
the day, yeah, you might be loyal to that company, but when the bills come, it's still you versus the bills, right?
Yeah.
It's not them with
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
paying your bills.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that because that,
Mhm.
that is a very important, piece to
Yeah.
to life in general, right? You got to
Mhm.
be loyal to yourself and really put yourself in a position to be successful and be honest with yourself.
And it's good to be loyal to a
Yeah,
company
of
to an
course, of
extent,
course. Yes.
right? To an extent, but at one point you gotta look at if because it has to be a two-way street.
Yep.
You're helping the company, and
Mhm.
then you feel like you're getting help. But if you doing your part and you feel like you're not getting anything in return, I mean, what's the point, right?
Yeah. You can't be loyal
So
to and be
if
detrimental.
I
Like,
know, right?
dang.
You're right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like how I look at it. At one point, sometimes you just gotta make some moves.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
mhm.
So for anybody that's out there and you're coming from an insurance space where you have to find your own clients and you're prospecting, you're out and about all the time, and you don't feel very genuine when you're having these conversations, and it's not working for you. Reach out to Usman. If somebody wanted to reach out to you, how can they get to you? Like, what's your IG?
On Instagram, my handle is Manu Dial, Manoudil.
Mhm.
Ousmane Diallo. If you type my name there, Ousmane like the fighter, Kumar Ousmane. Well, his is spelled differently, like the soccer player, Ousmane Dembele. But
Yeah.
Ousmane, last name Diallo, Dillo. You can find me on there, and then yeah.
So
So we
So you guys heard it. If you guys have any questions and you just want more clarity, reach out to Usman. Usman, we appreciate having you here today. Thank you for talking
absolutely,
to the
brother.
people. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you, man.